YouTube viewers, Rectangular back, this time with an action figure review. So I was able to get my hands on the Funko Fantastic Mr. Fox Legacy Collection. Consists of 4 figures. You've got Mr. Fox, the Rat, Kylie, and Ash. So I'm going to be reviewing each one of these figures, and we're going to do them in numerical order. Alright, so here we have number 3 in the collection, Kylie, and really like this packaging, very similar to what we've been getting from Hasbro in the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch scale and the Marvel Legends Infinite Series. It's got a nice window and nice little diorama type artwork in the background, and you can clearly see the figure and all the accessories he comes with. He comes with an apple and a credit card, and we'll get into that when we show the figure itself. And on the lower left hand corner you've got a little picture of Kylie from the movie, and rotate and see him in the side there. And then on the back shows the other 3 figures in the line, Mr. Fox, Rat, and Ash. And again, bigger picture of him from the movie. And you can see these were sculpted by Gentle Giant Studios. So very cool. Like these boxes, very nice for collectors who might want to resell him or store him for later use. Alright, let's go ahead and get him out of the package and get a closer look. First, I want to show the accessories that the figure comes with. All the figures come with this figure stand, which has 2 different size pegs for specific feet, and that's very useful because all these figures are very top heavy. And then he comes with a very tiny credit card. You can barely see that there. Can't really get it to stand up, but he just uses that very briefly in the movie to try to break out the cousin, let's see, Christopherson, when they're going on their rescue mission. Gives it to Mr. Fox, and then he comes with this little apple, which I think he has at the end, towards the end of the movie. And it's supposed to have some paint on it. In the movie, they're decorated with like a gold, dots or leaves, some sort of gold decoration. But it's just red, just a red apple, and fairly realistic looking, no shading, just a very simple apple. And just for size comparison, you've got blaster here from Han Solo. So you could use this with your Marvel Legends, but it's so tiny I don't think most people would be able to recognize what it is. Alright, so let's go ahead and show off the figure itself. Okay, to save a little time, I went ahead and put the figure in a sitting pose just to show that he can do it. It takes a little bit of muscling the joints, so I didn't want to have to struggle on camera to do that, but that's very cool that you can get him in a pose like this, because the articulation is pretty limited, but with a little bit of work you can get him into more than just a standing pose, so that's very cool. And now I'll go ahead and stick him on a stand and show him standing up. And here we have Kylie up on a figure stand, which was having a little bit of difficulty getting him on there. Similar that to the Mr. Fox figure, the pegs just weren't wide enough for the stand. So I think some of the stands are just a little bit too big for the character's feet. So far I only have one stand that fits really well, but and I think of all the figures, he probably could stand the best, just because it's probably a lower center of gravity. he's shorter than any of the other figures. Although I haven't got him compared to Ash yet, so we'll have to see about that. But very cool. This is probably my favorite character in the movie. He's just a very friendly, lovable character, and kind of quirky, very quirky. So we're so glad that they made him. Really nice sculpt. Hopefully you can see the pattern in the zipper. Very, very cool looking. Very nice paint detail. You can see the red and blue stripes on his belt, and the painted little lures he has on his fishing hat there. And you can actually see some texture. It actually does have some texture there on his hat, and some nice black wash on the hat as well. Mine kind of has like a little crack there in the paint on the back of his vest, and not really any texturing or shading on the vest itself, but nice sculpted pockets there, and you can see his fur kind of poking out from the bottom of his vest, which is very cool. And then you can see his tail, and that's sculpted really well. You can see the little lines there, his tail. Bend that up a little bit. And would have been nice if they had added a little bit more shading there. But very nice shading on the fur, on the front of his face, and no teeth poking through in the mouth, but they did a really good job on his eyes. They're nice and bright, very straight, not derpy looking at all, and did add some shading there in his ears, which is nice. I guess he has a shirt on under the vest. There's not really any shading there. And same with the pants, same color as the vest. His feet, I'm going to go ahead and take him off the stand there. I think they did a really good job with his feet. He's got individually painted toes, and nice shading there in the fur. And that's pretty much it as far as the paint and sculpt go. Now, the articulation is pretty decent. He has a ball. It's like a ball peg. There's just a peg in the neck and a hole in the bottom of the neck, and the head just sits in the peg there. And so he can move side to side. It's pretty stiff because the sculpt's going to hinder that. But he can look down a decent amount. Can't really look up too far, but he can look up, so that's pretty cool. Very cool, actually. So pretty decent there in the head. And in the arms, they're on a ball hinge, so they can rotate 360. The paint is just a little stiff on him. And then they can hinge up and down all the way to his sides, on both sides there. And then he has a ball hinge at the elbow, so he can rotate guess what, 180 there, and then 90 degrees up, very close to 90 degrees up, and all the way out. And then he has just a peg at the wrist, so he can rotate his hands all the way around. And like I said, he's got individually painted fingernails, which is cool. And same articulation on the other side. And he does have a waist joint. It is a little stiff, but you can manipulate it. Very cool. I'm sure it can probably go all the way around. I'm gonna waste your time showing you that. And then, like I said, in the leg articulation, that's why I wanted to show him sitting down. It is very stiff, but you can get him to spread his legs a little bit. There at the hips, it's basically like a ball hinge there. There's a peg going across, it's socketed there into the leg, and so they can go up a decent amount and back a little bit. It just takes some manipulation. And then he has a, similar to the elbow, he's on his knee, it's a ball hinge, so it can go back a little bit and forward a little bit. Actually, you can go forward a little bit more than backwards. And then he has a nice hinge there at the ankle, and no rockers there, but yeah, pretty decent range of motion. So you can turn side to side and get him in all, a running pose if you wanted to, and you can use and of course the tail has its own articulation. It is on a ball hinge as well, so it can go forward and up and all the way around, and so you can help stabilize him with his tail, which is nice. So very, very cool. All these things are a lot more articulated than I thought they were going to be, so very happy about that. And let's see, show him with the accessories. You can kind of support the apple in his hand. Just kind of rest it in there. The credit card, not really going to be able to hold unless he palms it. There you go. So, pretty cool. And let's go ahead and do a size comparison with some other figures. And here we have Kylie next to Mr. Fox from the same series on his left, and then on the right we have the Extremis Iron Man from Marvel Legends. So yeah, he fits in really well with other 6-inch figures, although it would be pretty odd for Iron Man to be hanging out with him. And let's go ahead and get the tape measure out. Let's see how tall he stands at, let's see, 5.5, just under 6 inches tall, compared to Mr. Fox, who's just under 7. And it's very accurate for the movie. He was much shorter than Mr. Fox, and I think they did a really good job on this figure. I like him a lot. The only thing I would have liked to have seen more is maybe a little bit more paint shading, and maybe an alternate or like a jaw piece that you could attach so you could have his mouth open, or put a hinge in there so you can open his mouth. But overall, very, very happy with this guy, and hopefully you guys like the review. Alright, if you like the review, please hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and I always love hearing back from you guys, so please leave a comment below. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.